to another great week of barbecue news with your wise guys from Wise Guys Barbecue Podcast. Charles Baldwin, far left. Bob Baumann, dead center. Vin Picaro, somewhere over here on the right. Hey, you know what? We're excited. We did another cook day today, guys. It was good. Made some soup. Gonna kick the snot out of Rico when I see him.
I can't wait to hear about that.
Well, you know what? It's kind of funny because what's that thing everybody worries about in The Sopranos? The Rico Act, right?
Yeah, that's the
racketeering.
and the racketeering.
Yeah, so we have our
that's
own.
the big one.
So we have our own Rico Act over here now, thanks to Rico Pasquale.
Yeah, you're funny, Rico. We'll be seeing you soon.
But more important, how about this? Chad and Nichole Humphreys going to join us on the show today.
Incredible.
Yeah, they're special people.
Super nice.
Yeah, the everybody knows a Humphrey smoker. You know, they're creating a wonderful business up there in Maine, and now they are stepping on the throat of the competition barbecue world.
Yeah,
they're moving up the ladder.
Already pretty legendary in the smokers and stuff that they've created. And,
sure.
They're really going full bore.
Yep.
This coming year. It's going to be interesting talking to them.
I think Bob told me like last year they got about 10 done, but they did it so late in the year. So I think they're looking to do a lot more this year.
A lot more.
Yeah,
I heard that they're really pushing hard this year.
And the reasoning for getting them on the show tonight was, Bob, when you mentioned Fire on the Ice or Fire on Ice in Minnesota last weekend, they participated and they did all right. They did
fairly well, right, Bob?
Yeah,
did fairly well.
Did fairly well.
They did well.
So, so we're going to get to that real quick, actually, in a couple minutes here. So just sit back, hit that like and subscribe button, please. Check out our cooks. We're cooking up a lot of stuff. Please challenge us. Somebody did Rocky Mountain oysters. John Zenowitz.
I think that was spam. I think that was spam. You should delete that.
Zenowitz, you got those from me. Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah, but you know what? Tommy knew exactly what it was. He goes, "Oh yeah, back in the '80s, you go down to what was that place? Sticky Fingers."
Yes, Sticky Fingers had them.
And they had the sampler. They had the barbecue sampler, and on
I
that
was
thing,
very disappointed. I thought they would come. Folks, Rocky Mountain oysters. I'll take away. They're bull balls, and I thought they were going to come out whole. Okay, and I thought you were going to eat them like a.
You were hoping
you're going to eat them like a grapefruit, and they come out sliced and
like
fried with horseradish dip. Yeah, it was soft. Yeah, that's a true story.
That's hysterical.
I said, "What are these?" Oh, that's your Rocky Mountain oysters. I go,
"Oh God,
where's the sack?"
All right, so
Where's the sack?
hit the subscribe button. Challenge us to cook something, and please let's get into the Humphreys before this gets derailed. Stay tuned, folks. You're gonna love this.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, folks, here they are, Chad and Nichole Humphrey from Humphrey's Barbecue. We promised we'd have them on this week because they want to tell us about their awesome competition they were in just last week in some crazy weather, I guess. But Chad and Nichole come from Maine, and they have their manufacturer up there. They manufacture the Humphrey's Barbecue. And now, I guess last year and some other years, you guys have been out now in competitions, and I think you're going to be challenging yourselves to be doing more this year. So love to hear all that stuff. So welcome, guys. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, awesome.
So tell us, so this past weekend was Fire on Ice, and believe it or not, it's in Minnesota. And being born and raised in Chicago, I know what the winter's like. But I can't imagine doing anything outside, especially in Minnesota, in the middle of winter. And it's on the frozen lake is what's the name of the lake again?
Millie Lock.
Millie Lock Lake.
Yep.
Oh, yep. Jesus. How cold was it? I saw like they had a website up. I saw minus 22 one day. Was it that cold?
It was. The day we got off the plane, it was minus 22. And when we headed up to do the competition, it progressively got a little warmer. And then by the end of it, we were just about 0 to 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And so this sounds like a stupid question, but I have no clue. So did you feel that cold? I mean, were you cold the whole time, or was it okay?
Well,
So But so we did a lot of practicing in the cold,
Okay.
in Maine, and it's been a pretty cold winter here in Maine too. So we did quite a bit of practicing outside, and I tried to be outside as
Right.
much as possible in just like a sweatshirt or comfortable clothes, so that way I would be prepared to do the turn-ins because, it's pretty cold and it's a long way walk from the lake up to turn-ins.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. That's crazy.
So were you set up on the ice? Because I heard that there was the ice was safe for everybody to go on. It's probably 2 feet thick.
Yep.
So you were able to park a trailer out there?
Oh yeah, we were set up right on the ice. It was 36 inches thick where we were, and we rented what's called an ice castle. And I have to tell you, it really, the name doesn't do its justice, because the thing had 2 queen beds, it had 2 bunk beds, it had an oven, a range, a microwave, it had satellite television, furnace. I mean, these guys set it up for us from Beachside Rentals, and I have to tell you, if it wasn't for that, we probably would have froze out there.
Yep.
And that thing was a lifesaver.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it was a deluxe ice shanty, right on the lake?
Yes, it was. Yep.
What was it made out? What was it made out of? Was it made out of wood or ice or tent material? What was it made out of?
So the outside was actually kind of like what we would have for a competition barbecue trailer around here. It was insulated, but the inside was really cool because it had tongue and groove pine, and it was really rustic.
Oh, wow.
And in the floor there was 9 holes, so if you wanted to go ice fishing, you just pulled the plastic cap, and there was 9 drilled holes right there for you.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
We actually used that for a cooler, actually, for some liquid while we were out
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parsley. It really kept the parsley at the perfect temperature.
It did.
So cool.
That's crazy.
And so I saw you did fairly well. You got 4th place in ribs
Nice.
Yeah,
and
we got
13th overall, right?
Yeah, we
And
tied for
did
12.
we establish how many were in the field overall?
Yes, tied for 12th.
Yeah.
Right.
And how many people were in the field? Like 42,
I
right?
think I saw 42 on the list.
Yes.
42, yeah.
So that's great. I think
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
and there were some tough teams there.
You're a
We
snob.
had,
You're a snob. You quizzed it fairly well. Sorry, I had to give him crap.
Yeah, I don't
All
like
right,
it.
go ahead, Chad.
There was some tough teams there. We had Shiggin and Grinnin. Kevin's a legend around here. And then we also had Iowa Smokies D's, Wags, Machete Boys. There was some pretty stiff competition out there.
Yeah,
I saw LC. LC was there.
LC was there.
LC
They're
was
awesome.
there.
Hung out with them quite a bit.
Yep.
Yep.
awesome.
So, guys, how did it was so cold? How did that affect your cook? Did you have a hard time keeping the temperatures where you needed?
No challenges, really.
No,
No challenges.
Yeah.
No,
The Humphreys.
Why is that?
The Humphreys just purred along and paired
Sure.
with Flame Boss, and Flame Boss runs, at the sub-zero temperatures. We had no problems. Set it, forget it. We went to bed, woke up the next morning, and brisket was where we needed it to be. It's that darn bourbon golf cart that went around that caught us on our brisket.
They had a bourbon. Oh, look at.
I love bourbon.
I just found my pit crew for that event.
There you go.
Yeah, the only reason I asked about the weather was because I obviously I was looking at your website and everything, and one of the things you say about your cookers, your smokers, is that they're weatherproof.
Yeah.
So evidently that was a good test for them.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
what's the other thing you mentioned? Flame Boss. What, you said the Humphreys, and then what did you pair with that?
The Flame Boss. So it's one of those, controllers.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a fan controller.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are familiar with Fireboard and Barbecue Guru. Actually, Barbecue Guru is now owned by Flame Boss. And they've supported us probably for the last 10 years. We carry them in the store, and their customer service and warranties are incredible.
Right. I cook on a Yoder, and I just refurbished it last year, and they went over to Fireboard. So I got a Wi-Fi Fireboard Wi-Fi connector in there. So good. Now I can drop. Now I can drop names. This is cool. So what was what is your plans this year? Are you guys doing more competition? How many competitions did you do last year?
Well, last year I think we finished. We managed to squeeze in probably a solid 10 last year. It was
wow. That's
yeah, and we started in September, so
yep.
we crammed a lot into the package.
Yep. Did I lose Nichole?
Yeah,
she might come back.
Yeah, I think no.
Oh, here she is.
Are you there? Here I am. Yep. I think we've got about 30 to 35 on schedule for this year.
Oh my God!
Oh, really?
Aggressive. Yeah, pretty
I
aggressive.
told you they were coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, that's a lot.
If you're gonna come back,
there's only 52 weeks in the year.
You're. So what is the history? What's your history in barbecue? Did you start competing and then decided to go into smoker manufacturing, or vice versa, simultaneously?
Why don't you take this one, Nichole?
Well, it's sort of a long short story. We had a product of wood chunks and chips, and it's kind of funny. We had a machine shop and fabrication business early on. 20 years ago, we started the business, over 20 years ago, and we did some work for a local logger, and he couldn't pay his bill, so he dropped off, I don't know, what was it, how many cords of really pristine apple wood that wasn't hit with any pesticides or anything. So we decided to turn that into barbecue wood. And then we took it up to the Budweiser plant for the rock. What was the name of that contest? And
it was Merrimack.
The one in Merrimack. It was Merrimack, New Hampshire.
Yep.
Rock and Rib Fest. That's what it was. And there we met the Gillespies, and we gave them a bag of our wood, and the relationship started there, and it just kind of snowballed. We met some of the most incredible teams, most friendly, Smoking Hogs, Meat at Slim's. I know they're not competing anymore, but Steve from Meat at Slim's, he took us under his wing too, and really took us kind of all over the country to learn all about competition barbecue, where we just kind of grew. Bill sent us his smoker because he wasn't real happy with the way it was running, and so we kind of rebuilt it from the ground up, worked on the airflow. We gave it the refurbishment that we're kind of known for. And when he took it back out, they won grand champion on it, and then it just kind of went from there. It was just an incredible whirlwind. Yep.
Yeah, that's
is that how you guys started refurbishing people's smokers and stuff like that? Is that the business you've always been in?
Well, we actually built our first smoker way before this, probably around 2008. Yeah. We built our first one just because we love barbecue. And then we built a couple, and we'd sell them at home shows and things like that. But it was when we refurbished Billy's cooker, and then he went out and won the Jack. It really kind of set us aside.
Oops.
That's good publicity.
Yeah, that helps. We had prototyped out the Battle Box, and the Battle Box just kind of took off after that. And then 2013, we were in full production ever since that day.
Yep.
Amazing.
That is amazing. That's a great story. Are you a metals engineer, Chad?
Nope. Actually,
did I read that on your?
I was a machinist while I was in college and everything, and kind of handle a lot of the certain parts of our machine shop, and Nichole handles all the smoker design stuff.
Yeah.
So cool. That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Guys, why the box shape? Why'd you go with that so heavy? As we see a lot of the half barrel type looking smokers that are very popular. But what made you guys lean towards that box shape?
Well,
so the reason why I think it's so important is for the footprint. It keeps the footprint much smaller than those barrel size smokers. Barrel size smokers take up a lot of floor space on a trailer. And so we wanted to hit all markets. We wanted to hit the homeowners and the comp teams and the restaurant and caterers. And we thought this was the best design to do that, to be able to cook the most amount of meat in one area.
So cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, it's probably a lot easier to put it where you need to put it in that shape.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, a lot of even you have the even sides, and you can fit it in, and rather than the very odd shape of the traditional smoker.
That, for me, the cube shape is the inside of a cube is more efficient than a barrel or anything else. You got all these different levels, and you could just jam pack those things with meat.
Yeah, great design.
Great. Yeah, you guys know Rico Pasquale from Q Shanny?
Sure do.
Oh yeah.
We've
he's
really seen him come up the ranks. We were at the Jack when was it his dessert that he got a call for when he was cooking with Q and a half men. Yeah. And so we've watched him come up from cooking with other teams to creating his own team to getting married this year.
Yeah.
He's really
right.
Absolutely. Yeah, now he really put his foot in it, right? So funny enough, we were just talking today because he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to come up. I want to do a tell-all cook on one of my meats to do to get you guys some click-ons and some move you up the rankings in the podcast world." I said, "Great." Yeah. So I said, "All right, well, let me know when, and then what do you want me to pick up, and we'll do ribs." And I said, so I got my Yoda smoker, and he's like, "Oh no, I'll be bringing my Humphreys." I was like, "Yeah, okay." It's so funny. I said, "Yeah, well, I'm going to mention it to him tonight that you're going to do that." So
nice.
So we'll definitely get some. We'll bust his chops a little bit when we're cooking those ribs on your smoker for sure.
Definitely.
So that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
So you mentioned you got right now your schedule 30 competitions this year.
Yeah. We sure
35.
What are you going to do with the weeks off? Not many of them.
Hopefully recoup. I know we leave in about a week and a half for Lebanon, Tennessee for Smoke on the Shore, so we're really excited about that one.
Yep.
Yeah. And we'll be traveling quite a bit. We're going to do all the local ones, of course. Most of them end up being doubles. And so we'll end up doing all the local ones, which I consider local from Maine to New Jersey. We'll do a couple in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all over. Yeah.
Now, will you trailer out to all of those, or will you fly out to some?
So Tennessee, we're definitely going to fly out. We actually have the cookers all pre-sold. So the customers will come pick the cookers up after we're done with them. And then the
cool.
Wisconsin's up in the air. We'll probably trailer out to that one just because I like to have my whole normal cooking setup. And then, of course, New Jersey and everything else we'll just do with our trailer.
Yep.
Oh, is that how you work the fire and ice? Is someone purchased the smoker?
Yeah.
You shipped it out there. You received the shipment. And say, oh, by the way, I'll season it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
we
get a pro cook on it, right?
We disclose it ahead of time.
We'll season it.
Kansas City to pick one of them up, and then another.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Peter picked one up. He lives an hour and a half away.
Yep.
Yeah.
So great.
So it's not only your. I noticed that you guys got your own line of rubs and sauces, and when did that take off?
Well,
go ahead.
When did you start getting into the kitchen? When did you get into the cooking? The seasoning aspect of this.
Boy, I want to say that was probably a solid. Well, I don't even remember the number of years ago, but we were working with Steph Franklin way back from Simply Marvelous Barbecue, and we said we wanted to develop a rub with some maple in it because we're from Maine and we have quite a maple season. So we worked with him and. We kind of bounced stuff back and forth back then and came up with what we call sapsucker, and that one took off. And then we worked with a couple other chefs throughout the country to help us come up with, bounce recipes off from. We do taste tests back and forth before we send it out for, actual product testing. And that took off for the last, 5 years probably. We really went into that market pretty hot and heavy with our sauce. And rubs, and quite a few of them are maple based just because of our location, like Barbecue Crack and Sapsucker. But we actually do use.
I love the names.
Barbecue.
Yeah, you sold me. I bought the Barbecue Crack season and the Divine Bovine today.
Nice.
It looks really good. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah,
it looks fantastic.
We actually have a 180 in brisket with the Divine Bovine last year, so we're pretty happy about that.
And our moist maker. Don't forget the moist maker.
That's
The
right.
moist maker, I did see that. Yeah, yeah, fascinating stuff.
Now, your competitions that you're going to attend, do you have a list of that online? Have you made that public at all, or
Yep.
so I can see that on your Facebook somewhere?
Yep, that page should be live, and we'll talk to Miss Jillian about that. She's creating that. She's our sort of the third wheel, not really the third wheel, but she's our third teammate on some of our contests. And she's also our big help in the office. She's the one that answers the calls and our really big customer service girl out there. And she's creating that page. And it's difficult for her because we keep adding to it. So that's why she hasn't gone live yet. It's
a moving target.
Yeah.
All right. No, cool, because we all have crazy schedules, but we love to probably try to get someplace where you guys are going to be so we can come out and see you live in action. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I'll probably see you quite a bit this summer.
Yeah. Well, right. Cause
we'll see each other quite a few times.
Nichole, Chad, tell us what's coming up for 25 in your product base. What's new and cool in product base this year?
Well, I can't quite tell you. It's top secret until we release it. But there's going to be a couple of products. There's some great big products coming out that are competition driven. They are obviously going to be used in homeowner world too, but we're developing them for the competitors. It's going to make their life easier. It's going to make their food a lot more tastier. And we're so excited to release those in the next couple of months.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. Look forward to that. Well,
what a teaser that is.
I know.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Hold on. I'll give you my credit card number right now.
That means you have to have us back on when we release it. See how that works?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a date. We're definitely going to hold you to that. Well, thank you very much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Telling us all the good stuff. Yeah, no, this is great. And we look forward to what comes this way this year for you, and we'll definitely get you guys back on.
Yeah, great.
I'll probably see you April in Bristol.
Bristol, Connecticut. Double. Yep, we will be
there. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, we'll see you.
Good. We'll check that out, and we'll look for you some stuff. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so today we had to kick some butt because we got taunted. I'm going to say taunted. The right word was challenged. We were supposed to be challenged. We put out an invitation. We said, come on, guys, challenge us. We want to make whatever you want us to make in the kitchen, and we want to put an Italian spin on it.
I did hear you say that.
Yeah. So what happens? Rico Pasquale from Q Shanny comes in and says, oh, how about a smoked chicken Italian soup with homemade noodles?
Okay.
Sounded reasonable. Tommy got all geared up. Tommy was like, I am in. We got this. This is going to be a piece of cake. We got this. So that's what we did today. So, it was a lot of fun. Bob was in on the video. Bob did the smoking of the chicken, and he did smoking of some nice beefsteak tomatoes.
Awesome.
So that worked out well. We had our reserved stock from, I think a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That worked. That was delicious. That was the best. And then Tommy went ahead and he started making the noodles.
Like he did on the stroganoff?
Well, stroganoff, he was a packaged noodle. He made this was eggs and flour.
This was a real homemade.
This was the deal. So, he's I don't know if you know, he's Sicilian and a big family, and he had a Sicilian grandmother who used to make all this stuff nonstop. That's where his passion from cooking comes, which I really enjoy because you don't find that in this culture today. With so many mom and dads working at the same time,
it's tough.
That hand-me-down, kind of kitchen cook goes away. But back in the day, you always had someone, and he had his nonna in the kitchen every day cooking from scratch, and that's where he learned how to cook. So he's like, okay, I'm going to do this. Now, admittedly, he's not a baker. He doesn't, he's a butcher, he's a cooker, he's a chef, but he is not a baker. He doesn't like, he does not like evening things out. He does not like measuring stuff. But he wanted to do this, so he gave it a shot. And I don't remember exactly everything. I think the first one was 3 cups of flour and 5 eggs. And he started going into it, and it was like he likes to touch things with his hands, so he's like forking it, and he's like, no, this is not right. This is not. I don't like the way this. And then he starts with his hands, and he thinks he's overworking. What's salmonella? Is that a type of flour?
That's a type of flour.
Okay.
But he was saying he was overworking the gluten.
The gluten. That's what it was.
He's overworking.
Yeah.
I'm overworking.
I'm overworking the gluten. It's gonna because then you got to roll it out and make the noodle. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna. Now I love making bread, and it's not the same dough recipe, but it's the process is the same. So I'm just watching. I'm like, all right, you know what? So Bob, in the meantime, he just kind of floats over and he starts doing some of his research on the wall, and he starts pulling up on the YouTube. He's like, oh, here's a different one, right? And he's a little bummed out because this one he used, he liked the person, whatever, but he's like, okay, we'll do that one. So it was different. So it was, I think, 3 eggs and 2 cups of flour.
So he just scratched just dumped the first.
Just dumped it.
Just dumped it.
Just dumped it.
Oh, you laugh. You know how much? You know how much how eggs are these days?
Yeah.
$10 a dozen. $10
He
a
does
dozen.
it. Yeah, they're almost $1 a piece. They're my freaking eggs. I'm throwing away eggs. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So, anyways, now we're going back at it.
Not
so here we
to
are.
mention the ones that
Right. So we're. Oh yeah. So then Sue, she comes in. So she's trying to diffuse, and the way she diffuses is she's out running around like a lab rat. So she goes over and grabs 5 more eggs and breaks them into a bowl, which I didn't even know about. Right. So okay. So that's right. So now we're a dozen in. We're $12 in.
And we haven't done a damn thing.
And we don't have anything. So, all right. So he makes his new batch, and and he's getting the same results, and he's getting antsy. And this is where he could have used your help today because he needed to get talked down. But I was like, Tommy, and Tommy, I hope you don't get mind me telling these stories because it was funny. I just got in there and I just started working a little bit. And I remember my mom when she used to make this dough crust for apple pies, and one of her tricks were if it got a little pasty or difficult to work with, she would just wet her hands with water. So I did that. I said, add a little water because he added more. When the first batch it got scratched, he was like, I'm going to add more eggs. So he puts more egg, and now it's like soup. And he's like, this is not it. This is not it. All right. So the second time I was like, let me get in there. I wet my hands, and he's like, ooh, that looks better. Or that looks like what it's supposed to be. So we ended up making the dough for the noodles, and we had homemade noodles. But you know what, Rico? I'm going to get you back for that, my friend. Somehow, some way.
You made the list, buddy.
It was a reasonable request, but
Rico said that he makes homemade. He loves doing noodles, homemade pasta.
So like Tommy's grandmother,
Tommy and I have never done it.
Rico's mom is a fantastic cook, and I'm sure he learned how to make homemade noodles from her. I guess he says he does it all the time. We're going to see.
All right. But so, we very rarely get Tommy to crack like that, so I'm sure that's a nice change up. Showing he's a human.
He's not a baker.
No, he's not.
He is not a baker. We got a butcher. We need a baker.
He's a meat man.
So,
God,
so
I'm
there
sorry
you
I
go.
missed that.
But no, we got some soup for you. It came out excellent for sure. The smoky flavor from the chicken and the tomato. So we then built the stock and dropped in the noodles, and we dropped in the tomatoes at the end, which were smoked, and just a wonderful smoky flavor in the whole thing. And there was so much going on. He had escarole. He had the I'm going to call it fennel, but fennel. He had chopped fennel. So that was in the escarole, fennel, tomatoes, cheese, noodles, chicken. It was just phenomenal. The carrots, celery, onions, all the regular stuff. It was good. It was a good cook, a good tasting dish, and a lot of fun to make today. It was like, we did like 4 cooks last week, took us 7 hours. We did 1 cook this week, took us 5 hours. So it was definitely different, but that was cool.
But you pulled it out.
Hey, you tell us. You got your.
Find out.
You got your.
Sounds like you pulled it out.
It was edible.
It was definitely edible. It was delicious. It was delicious. And we got a quart for you and the Deuce, so you guys can let us know.
All right.
So, it's right around the corner besides March Madness.
I
One
do.
of my favorite. Yeah, what?
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, you know why?
The day of days.
Yeah, and it's amazing. My best friend's birthday is on that day.
Yeah.
That was always a special day for me. My deceased brother,
my man,
my best friend Chip, and Tommy's wife is all born on March 17th. So that's awesome.
Yeah, Patrick and I used to every St. Patty's Day. It'd be the middle of the week, and we just tell her at 11 o'clock in the morning, be like, "Oh, yeah, Vin, we're leaving. You got the factory." And we'd be off to the bar.
There's no way to explain or kind of rationalize.
Yeah, we were just
that day
bound
for
by
the two
that.
of you.
We were just
ever.
bound by that day.
Oh goodness,
So funny.
But what do we got going on, Bob? We're going to do a cook on the week before, the 12th. I think we're doing
So
a
on
cook,
the 12th,
right?
we're actually getting a Wagyu corned beef,
Yes.
which is just a brined brisket.
Yes.
We're going to get a 3 to 4 pound flat cut
Okay.
of brisket, and then we'll cook that,
Right.
and then we'll also go through the brine process.
Right.
Nice.
With a recipe on how to do your own corned beef.
Yeah. So is there Charlie, do you know the history of the boiled dinner, this corned beef, this so-called Irish tradition?
Ireland was dirt poor. All they had was potatoes and corned beef. I mean, I think corned beef. I think the corned beef is kind of like I think that's kind of like I don't want to say wives' tale, but like I think that just developed over time. But you remember? Well, maybe
Like
you don't
Americanized.
remember. Yeah, you remember back in the day in Ireland, they had that awful famine and like
Yes.
Right.
The potato crop
potato
went
famine,
down.
and that was it.
all
And
this
they
stuff.
relied a
So,
lot on the potatoes,
A
right?
lot of their cooking came out of that time period.
All right. Well, I don't know. My first wife was Kristen. Kristen Picaro was Irish, and she used to have we used to do the corned beef boiled dinner every year. My son loved it, and then she would have had nothing to do being Irish, but because of her Polish descent, she would have pierogies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she'd fry up some of those, and so I don't know how this corned beef's going to come out. After when I was learning how to cook brisket, and I said I got to learn different ways to make brisket. I learned how to corn a brisket and make it corn
a beef.
Corn a beef.
Yep.
Corn a brisket, make a corned beef, and then I learned how to do the same thing, different spices, but and different process. But pastrami used to make a nice brisket pastrami. So that was that'll be some good fun.
There you go.
I'm
So
looking forward.
great information here, Bob.
What?
So corned beef's was a delicacy.
Ooh.
And that's what we were talking about. There was nothing to eat in Ireland, So having corned beef was supposed to be a very rare delicacy way back in the day. It turns out Ireland was a major producer of salted meat up through the Middle Ages. Yeah.
Huh.
Let's see. Yeah, the British used to export whole cattle to England and use salt to dry and cure the beef, and that's where all that stuff came from.
Okay, good.
And
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, and then the Irish immigrants came over and took all of it over here, and you ended up with it was a cheaper option, which we talked about. It was a cheaper option for Irish immigrants.
Yeah, painted everything.
Yeah, they were used to eating salt pork and potatoes, and wasn't a lot of steak and stuff like that being eaten in the slums of New York City with the Irish.
There was mobs. Those Irish mobs.
Yeah, you had to make do with what you get.
What was that? What's that movie?
Oh, which one? Oh God,
So many.
Don't make me call my son.
Gangs of New York.
Boondock Saints is my favorite one.
Yep.
I mean, that's more modern.
No, but
than
Gangs of
but yeah, Gangs of New York. Yeah,
Yep, that
which was
definitely
a totally like real thing. Like the characters in that are like real people. It's
Right.
crazy.
So you know I'm out of work, right?
I heard that.
So what I've been doing?
building your own gang.
Peaky Blinders.
Oh,
Started watching.
We need to talk.
are you watching that with or without the captions at the bottom? Because you can't.
Without.
All right,
tough.
You're a
tough.
man.
It is
I
tough.
have to use the captions.
It
I
is
use
tough.
the captions. No,
Yeah.
it's hard. I can't do
It
it.
forces me to pay attention.
How far into it are you?
We're season 1, episode
Focus.
5 or 6.
Yeah, I'm about the same
5
spot.
or 6.
I got into it late, but
Yeah.
I heard a lot. And it listen, it's a great show. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in there, but it's I can only watch like a few episodes at a time because after a while the accents and everything get to me.
Yeah,
and I got to take a break from this,
Yeah.
but I'm starting to get through
That's
it.
what I do is I watch a couple episodes and we're good.
Everything's so dirty. Everybody walks around in mud and wet
Yeah.
dirt. Yes.
a lot of that in there too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody's getting,
I mean,
everybody's
so far
getting
back, I
whacked.
don't even know if they've come up with the machine gun yet.
No, yeah, they had that machine gun in that one.
Oh, that's right. It's after World War One, right?
Yeah. Come on.
The big guy was in World War One. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
We were killing people long before we were curing them.
Well, that was a great show, guys. The Humphreys, fantastic job. Thank you for coming on. And just a lot of stuff to talk about. Very interesting couple. And a lot of information. Check out their website on Humphrey Smokers. It's not just the wonderful smokers they make, but also like a line of sauces and rubs, and they got a lot going on here.
I can't wait to have them back after they said they're going to come back with some, some top secret stuff.
Top secret.
Bob's lining up.
Bob is right up with that.
Caught my attention.